I haven't answered your email so far, but I found the time to go through the text and to read your comments and your suggestions. I will answer you or integrate it in the text during the weekend. And I liked a lot this suggestion of adding boxes to highlight the most important terms, most important concepts, or most important messages. And another suggestion from my side would be that we read our texts with the focus on things we want to have illustrated. So there are some things that really suitable and can be added, can be helpful to be illustrated. We will get a member, a student from the Italian team who is experienced in illustration, and I think he will have his own way or his own approach. I don't know how illustrators which methodology they use, but I think it could be helpful if we pre-structure the text by giving hints what could be illustrated. So for me, when I'm sitting on a text and when I'm formulating something, sometimes it comes to my mind, oh, this would be nice to illustrate. Do you know what I mean? Am I clear?
Yes, it's just like a box, but it's not a box of text, it's an illustration. And we can write something about what we want with that illustration. This is an illustration with a river and a tree, something like that. Okay. Okay. Any comment? Any other comment at this point? Okay. We have the first point of the meeting is roundtable on the part of each one of us, on the part of each one of us in this chapter 3. I think the idea is that we can speak about what we have done, what is the point of the situation of our work in this chapter. And I don't know who would like to start. We have, I think we have in the drive. I'm trying to find in the drive. We have some kind of draft for. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Can you remember what is
shall we introduce in short?
Yes.
Victoria and Lisa.
Okay.
Lisa, would you like to say just a few words about your role?
Okay. Yeah, so my name is Lisa, hi. And I'm working at the Nateurfriends in Styria for nearly 5 years now. And yeah, I'm a part of this project from the beginning. And I don't know what else.
Sorry, I forgot to make this suggestion at the beginning, so you can read our names, but you don't know much about us. I am working together with Lisa in the office, in the Nateurfriends office. We are employees of the association, so not only volunteers, also employees. Yeah, and joining the project since the beginning. Karin, she is one of our most active and most professional volunteers. She's also part of the project since the beginning. Karin, if you want to add something.
We are not hearing.
So,
Karin?
hi, Victoria. Nice that you are in the team. We need young people.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a sportive member of the Nateurfriends. I came to the Nateurfriends because of leisure time activities, and yes, I'm interested in biology and water, and especially in the waste problem. So that's the reason why I'm in the working group for water and biodiversity, and I'm working as a climate manager in a municipality. So I have also some background of climate change.
And maybe I would like to ask Victoria to tell something about that I also don't know nothing about Victoria.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I just joined the Cabeco Santo Association as an intern like 2 weeks ago. So I've been kind of dropped parachute here, but I'm happy to be here. I'm a biologist. I did my master's specialization in basically ecosystem management, biological resource, land valorization, and that was the most recent thing I did. So like I finished in September. However, I've been doing volunteering for like 5 years now in associations as well. And so, yeah, that's my. I think I will talk more about this because I think that will be my main challenge when joining your work group is leaving behind this academic language and way of writing that's been so hammered in my head, and adapting to a different kind of communication. But I'm super excited. I think I will learn a lot with you. Yeah, that's it.
Nice. So as we had a meeting on Tuesday with a guy from the university, and we can say we are the transdisciplinary interface between sciences and between the work of experts and volunteers in associations. And
Nice.
we can't be proud of this role, I guess.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
My little presentation. I'm Stella, a passionate psychologist, and yeah, I love to promote the growth and well-being of students. And yeah, I'm also activity involved in volunteering, collaboration, collaborating with organizations such as Italian Red Cross and Amici della Natura, Nateurfriends in Austrian Nateurfreunde. Yeah, I love promoting environmental and community-focused project in general. I have strong skill in research and problem solving.
I can confirm.
Very good
Thank
things to have. Wow, nice.
You are welcome, Victoria. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
we are
you.
very happy to have younger people in the team. It makes us more diverse, and so that's a big gain for the project.
I'm so glad. I'm really happy for that.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you for your energy and your time.
Yeah, I think it's a
Yes.
great project. I
Yeah,
think it will be a lot of fun as well. So
sure.
So we can start making some kind of how can we say that each one of us can speak a little about what is the point of the situation of the chapter 3 writing. Okay, you agree? You can start with this first point. I don't know. Maybe I can start with me. That it's easy because I have not finished the first part of the text that I defined for to do. That is there are a file. Sorry that I cannot find in the drive directory, but there are there in the last meeting we decided what was our contributions for the chapter 3, and in that time that was only me and Matthew, and we decided that most of the text should be right for me. Now Victoria is in the team also, so we are rearrange a little what we can do in group, but we have the structure for the points that we would like to write and the main ideas, but it's necessary to finish the text for the Portuguese team. So we are a little late. I suppose that this week I have time to write a lot, and I could not get time this week, so I have to finish the next week these points that are the responsibility of the Portuguese team. I don't know who would like to speak now.
Okay. So I think inside the Portuguese team, then we
Okay.
okay. So yeah, I don't know if actually don't know if I have been working in the right document. Maybe I need to speak to you, Pedro, later. But I just picked out a couple of topics that I saw were delimited, and I tried to write a little bit about, start the research. But then again, I don't know if the language I'm using is way too complicated. Maybe like also I have some doubts about references, how that works in a handbook, this kinds of thing. So more methodology aligned, I guess. But I have put the things I have written so far in the document that you sent me on the group, the draft.
Oh,
You know?
okay. Yes.
Okay. Is that the right place?
Yes, it can be, but
Okay.
the problem is we have to Google Drives. One is the old Google Drive for everyone, and we have another one for the Portuguese team.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't. So this is lots of things that is necessary to
Okay.
to make more clear, because I think I have only one meeting with Victoria. Yes, I think was only one.
Yes, and a fast one, like
Yes, yes.
yeah. So we couldn't
So
really.
yes, we need to coordinate better. Okay,
Okay.
no problem, Estelle. And okay. Later we can speak, Victoria, and we decide where we will put the material to work.
Okay.
Okay. But of course, all the material that are produced for each team, after the development of the text, it's necessary to put in the Google Drive of the project of
Okay. Okay.
for
Yeah.
because it's necessary for everyone to comment and to see what is the work done. Okay, there are these 2 points I think it's important to discuss about the language and about references. If we will put references or not in the text or just in the end of the text, but how can we manage all of this, and also the language. And of course, it is necessary after everything is righted. It's necessary to make some kind of common language from the beginning to the end. So this handbook needs lots of revisions. But if we can have in the beginning some kind of guidelines or some kind of aims for these points, it's better because we are working more in the direction that all the handbook should have. So it's better to discuss this in the beginning, in my opinion. Okay. Who would like to speak about the point of the situation of maybe at least one person by team?
Yeah, I can continue if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, I also thought about this reference topic, so how to do this. And I talked to Petra and Karin on Tuesday about the layout. It would be a great idea if we do it all the same, so we don't have to change it afterwards. So the type of written and then the size and so on would be yeah.
Okay.
So we are saving time if you don't have to do it afterwards. I've started to write about this, I think it's 3.2, about ecological background. I have just uploaded it yesterday. I'm very late and I'm not yet very happy with my text, so it still needs some revision, but it's a beginning. And yeah, I saw Stella has also written about the ecological background from Italy. I haven't written it in detail, but I saw it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should compare the 2 texts to see if we are writing about the same thing. Because the one thing is about Austria and the one thing is about Italy, but it should more or less be about the same topic. Yeah, that's all I've done so far.
Okay. Maybe we have now 3 points to discuss: language, references, and layout.
Yeah.
And maybe there are another one that I don't know, because I think some of these things can be done in the beginning, but can be done also later. That is the connections that we should have between different chapters of the handbook, and it's very interesting to have connections. We can call them hyperlinks if we would like. It's okay. We are speaking about one thing, but we can say that in chapter that we would see later, it will be something connected with this. So this kind of links, connections, I don't know exactly the name, could be interesting to develop. So, but we are distributing the handbook for different people, so it's difficult for us to know exactly what the other person are writing in this moment. So it's necessary to see before, but it's necessary to, if we know something, we can put in text. Stella.
Yeah, before the 3-point, I want to share with you my part. 3.4, no, 3.2.2 and 3.4.2.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm agree with Lisa, because I think so. This is a similar topic. And yeah, science paragraph 3.2 in the environmental backgrounds was supposed to cover the issues each association faced. I decided to present a general overview of the two associations, because we are one partner but two associations. But it's a similar topic, Ledro and Saviore. But I decided to, general overview in 3.2 and the success story in paragraph 3.4.2. I along with Italo and Pietro, and yeah, completed together the part of success stories. When I read the other paragraph, if it meant to address the problems of each association. And yeah, if we spoke about the problem and the fight and the success story, the similar arguments. Yeah, I don't know if I'm clear, but I don't know. I read what I write before. So if we separate the topics between problems and battles, the work becomes more complex, and it ends up repeating concepts from one another. I don't want to make the chapter too long, especially since I know the success stories paragraph is already long, but yeah, in my opinion, we should avoid overlapping the topics, and we risk begin repetitive and lengthy. I've looked at the other topic quickly, but I'm not expert. I'm not a biologist, so I will leave it to those who are to speak with more accuracy. That's all for my contribution.
Okay. Karin asked to speak.
Sorry, Pedro.
Karin. Karin,
Karin.
yeah.
Yes, I'm here. I need just a little time. Yes, I agree. I just wanted to remark that we said that we will have for each partner a different kind of handbook. So there should be one version for us all, and then we have the specific version for each country. So maybe we can try to agree what we write in the general handbook, and then it is possible to go deeper in the Italian or in the Austrian handbook, because Lisa and me, we also had the question to compare the countries in the chapter natural protection. And it is very interesting to make a comparison, but it should not be too much, I guess. So that's my opinion.
Okay. I can just say something about this aspect, that we are working in one handbook, but we are speaking about the context of 3 countries, and it's some kind of to speak about difference and about common things that we have in different projects and different countries. And I think that we can have these two in these two chapters, 3.2 and 3.4. We need to work, I think, in this balance. That is, we have different contexts. Of course, we have similar problems, but we also have different problems. So we can separate what are the common problems that we don't need to repeat. It's just to, for example, we can, if we are writing and pointed common problems for each country, we can say that this problem is shared by all the countries, and then we can have more. We can go deeper or with more detail for everything that is different for each country, because I think this is more interesting for everyone that is reading to understand that the problem that is pointed like characteristic for one of the partners could be interesting, for example, for another country, that because this handbook could be used in everywhere. So it's interesting to see this. This is my opinion. I don't know, Petra, if you have something to say, or someone else, about this kind of question. I'm not seeing every one of you, so I don't know. Okay.
I agree with all these suggestions to follow this kind of structure. From my point of view, it's so I'm not an expert, and I'm not part of the working group writing on this chapter, and so I have this kind of focus from outside. I will read the contributions during the weekend, and if I have some remarks, I will, of course, send them or comment. For me, it's important, as already said by Stella, to avoid this double use or double how you called it, Stella? I don't remember. Yeah, to
problem and battles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to be in the position of a reader who hasn't dealt with the topic so far, who is using the handbook for the first time, and it's between raising interest, not to get bored because of many things are repeated, to have a logical structure. This is difficult because every person have a different meaning of what is logical. But as the structure is now, this is so we should keep this mind structure and these suggestions. About the wording or the kind of language, I mean the wording, we will not be able to have a standardized common language. And I think it's not even necessary, because we are so many different members with different backgrounds and different education, different expertise, and the language, and it's okay and even interesting when the contributions have their individual style. So we should not try too much to get to a standardized language. Just use technical terms in the same meaning. This is very important to be clear. But the individual style of writing, I think this is something that makes it more interesting and more lively to use the handbook. And the standardization should be about the text type and the characters. This is important.
Okay, Petra. I think that the individual style is interesting, but maybe we need, because we don't know what will be the result, maybe we need to harmonize. I think the more adequate term is to make some harmony between different parts, to avoid something very, very different in a way of present ideas or explain something. If there are some kind of harmony of different styles, I think it's okay. But if there are something that could be confused or understand, because in one way is present in one form, and in another way in a way that is very different, that can make some kind of confusion, we must avoid that. I don't know if I can explain well what I would like to say. It's like we can have different colors, but everything has to be some kind of harmony between the colors. It's not necessarily the same color, but it's important to avoid forms of expose ideas that can be in shock with others. I think it's something. It's better to see some kind of. We are speaking without examples of that. If we have examples, we can also decide. I think if there are something very strong of indifferences. I don't know. It's one idea. Okay, it's about the language. I don't know if someone, Karin, if you would like to say something. about your text.
About what text? About the activism? Or?
The activism, yes. For
Um,
example, I don't know if you would like.
because I understand your voice a little bit hardly, but yes, I can talk in general that I have problems to simplify my thoughts and to make it also to think like young people are thinking. So I have the problem that I'm very serious and I'm very in my thinking, and this helps me if somebody else reads the text and says and make comments and corrections. So that helps me a lot.
Have you seen that Adamo has already commented your text?
Nein, habe ich noch nicht gesehen.
So this is the last point that we should discuss in this meeting. It's about the comments and how we can manage these kind of comments and suggestions for the text. Okay. So I think we have an idea about the work and some of the problems, and we
Can I
have,
add something?
yes, of course.
Last time we talked about how many pages we should write, and we said, so my notes say that we said 20 to 30 pages for our chapter. And of course, it depends on the layout and if you add pictures and so on. But I think we should definitely keep that in mind, because I think it's already getting very big.
Yeah.
And there are some other chapters as well. So, and we still want someone to read it in the end. And yeah.
This is the problem, that we are divide all the chapter by different people that are working in small pieces.
Yeah.
But if we have 20 pieces of 2 pages, there are 40 pages in total. So we have to think about that. If you are right. Okay. Keep in mind that everything should have between 20 and 30 pages, not much more than that. Okay. Thank you. So we have a second point about a collective reflection on each part for a better orientation for the redactor. Each redactor will have the opportunity to ask for the group about depth or orientation in relation to each part. And I think it's lots of things that we have discussed in this meeting is about this, about what are the problems, what are our general doubts about how to write, the questions of language. We have some kind of decision about that. We don't need the same language. But another question that we pointed, it's about references. And here it's important to have a common format of have the references for everyone. And I don't know what is your idea about references. If we should follow some kind of an academic writing with everything with references that we are writing, or if we should have references, for example, in the end of the text. I don't know. Ideas about this, about the use of references in text.
Okay, I can say a little bit from what I've been writing and what I've been feeling about it in a way, because I think, well, the academic vision of it, of like every sentence you write, you need to reference, is one extreme, I guess, and also like, well, having it all at the end, maybe another, because sometimes when we have a fact, you know, like let's say forests support 80% of biodiversity, as an example. It doesn't really feel right to me to just put that there without citing anything. So I think maybe a style where, like, when you have a specific data point, you should say where it comes from. At the same time, like, I don't know, I struggle to also with everything needing a reference. I think it's a lot of more time that you need to put into it, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So,
am also between these positions. From my side, I feel more comfortable using more the references and also keeping in mind um, the rules of academic writing and the copyrights,
Yeah.
and to avoid to violate or to plagiate. But it disturbs because the main group of the handbook is not academic, and it is hard to read if we follow these rules. And so maybe at the end of a chapter we list the references.
mhm.
The references, that means the author, the title of the publication, and the page is the range from, I don't know, page 20 to 50 when our text refers to it. So more or less precise, but not too like following the academic rules of citing something. So then we are between respecting the copyrights and helping the most interesting readers to go deeper into a subject if someone wants to. And if it's a list of references in a footnote or in a small in smaller letters at the end of the chapter, it's still not too disturbing. It's not disturbing at all, the reading of the text, and it's very clear and correct.
But would you mark it in the text where this reference belongs to? So would you say, for example, number 1, and then referring to this reference at the end of the chapter? Because if I'm, as you said, interested in something, and then I have this list of 40 references, I don't know what I should read if I'm more interested in this small part. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when I've been writing, that's exactly what I've been doing, also for myself, like not to get lost in the river of reference. But yeah, you still have that not issue, but it's extra work. It's also more work, but I think it's pretty good for exactly what you're saying.
So you marked it with a number
Yeah, and then
in the
put the
text.
numbers. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Yeah, I would also follow this way of working, and not to put the citation into the text, but this is clearly structured. This is transparent, and so it's does not lead to the explosion of the text volume.
Mm-hmm. So maybe we should use this for every chapter. So maybe someone should write a message to the whole group, so it's consistent for every chapter, because if everyone makes his own thing, it's not.
Yeah, we can convert one thing in another. So we can unify, make uniform, uniformize. Yeah, I don't know, like that. Uniformize the reference along the text. So there are different aspects here that we touch about the references. Something that is very important to point for some authors, that it's not. I think references, it's not only a question of copyright, but also the responsibility. If we are writing something without references, we are responsible of that that data or information or idea. So it's important to understand at what level of responsibility we would like to have in the text. If we have less references, we are more responsible for everything we have writing. And also the important aspect of that in this handbook we should address ideas for some authors that are important. So it's important to have this kind of people inside of our handbook. I think it's one image that we can have. Okay. And okay, it is. I think the numbers. It's interesting to have not a very huge disturbing in the reading the text. So it's some kind of idea that we can use for this. Karin, yes.
Does this also mean that we have to sign our texts, our ideas? So let's say I'm writing an article and then I write written by Karin. Is this also because you talked about responsibilities? And I think it's very nice to have own ideas and to create own ideas. And the question is if we also write that who was the author of the text or not. Maybe.
I was not thinking about that. I was thinking about authors that have references that we can have there. And what I said about responsibility, it's in this case we start with an individual writing, but then the sum of all individual writings are a collective one. So it's the responsibility of the collective to have. If we can say after finishing the handbook, if something is in the handbook that have not reference, is responsibility of this the team of this project to assume that are the ideas of the project. So it's important to understand, okay, if it's something that someone wrote that before, so if we are putting that idea, we are not honest, because we are saying that this idea is ours and not from the author. So it's this kind of thing. If you are saying something about the rivers have lots of life, and if it's something that is not right, we have the responsibility of that if we have not reference. I don't know if you understand my idea. Yeah, okay. Okay, this is about the reference, about the layout. That was another aspect that you pointed. I don't know, Lisa, or if you would like to say something about this, or Petra, I don't know.
Sorry, I didn't hear the last thing you were saying. Can you repeat it?
Oh, sorry, it's about the layout of the handbook that you say that it is important that we
Yeah.
can decide some kind of layout to avoid the need to reformulate everything in all the text.
Yeah, I
And
think Petra's suggestion was to use this layout in the document you shared. So this,
okay, okay.
Petra, is it right?
I
You
don't.
said something on Tuesday about the layout, and I think you said we should use the layout you and Petra, you and Karin used, and I think this was this document. Can you
Yeah,
share?
we when we started to write on the introduction text, we used this this empty structure in the Google Drive. It's a Google Word template, and it was pre-structured in chapters. And yeah, I think the layout is it's neutral, but we can use this. But I'm not a layouter. I don't have an eye for this, and I would like to have a professional person to have a look on that. And to ask someone in the working plan of the project proposal, initially this task has been allocated to the Italian team. Maybe I shall talk to Christian about this issue.
Okay.
And it's also there is also listed an extra budget just for the layout part. And if needed, and I think it's better, we should ask a professional to do this part. So for us, we follow this layout that is in this pre-structure in the Google in the Google Doc, and
So this one.
as soon, yeah, this one.
Yeah.
As soon we are done with writing, this is a standardized draft, and a layouter will not have too much work to transform it to a more useful, nicer version. But I will ask Christian, because this is Italian responsibility. I mean, we still can change this, but we will have to decide together.
Okay. I think that one thing that could be important is to maintain the title. I don't know what is the technical terminology for this, but when we have the text, I will share my text. This one you are looking for Yes. This, for example, 3.1, this is the title. I don't know if you can see, is the first level of title. And this one is the third level of title. You can see here. So it's important to maintain this kind of structure for the further work of the designer. I don't know. Someone will work in this, because if we put this like text and not like title, it will be lots of work to change after. Because if it's necessary to change the format of the title, it's very easy if everything is in the same level, the same structure. I don't know if you understood. Okay, we have Matthew. Good night, Matthew.
Yo, hello. Hello, everybody. Sorry for my late landing. It's a bit complicated this time for me with the other European programs, so I'm sorry I am a bit away, but it was important to me to be present a bit tonight and to feel how it is running, and yeah.
Okay. So we are in the second point of meeting, and maybe it could be interesting if you have some other aspects that you would like to add to these points. We have also the question of the links, the connections between the text in different parts of the chapter. But I think that this should be discussed after the first draft of all the text, that we can see better what are the links that we can have, and then maybe it's necessary to make this work in layers. And there are a layer that is someone, for example, that can see all the text and make some identification of links that we can make between different parts of the text. So I don't know if you have more comments about problems, about some kind of aspects that are important for the orientation for each one that are doing this. Karin, yes.
Yes, I have in general the question if something is hardly missing in the chapter now. Do you have the overview if something is hardly missing? So we have to produce a text on a special topic.
Maybe it's better if I can share the sorry, it's not this one. I have lots of this one, I think. No. Okay, maybe you are looking at the structure of or not?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yes, Ecocowala and book draft. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because I'm not see what you are seeing. So here, Karin, if I understood correctly, you would like to see in this chapter what are the parts that are not covered by someone.
Yes. Well, if we have the whole chapter 3,
okay.
I mean, I know that something of my part are missing, but perhaps we can have an overview what is hardly missing in the chapter 3.
Okay. Maybe we can see in this structure what are the points of the situation. The first point, it is named for you, Karin, nature protection. I think it's some kind of introduction. I don't know exactly. If you this
Yes, I did not make a concept, but we had a text on environmental protection,
and
and also
ecosystem.
connected to environmental awareness, but it's but not the concept of the ecosystem.
Okay.
There was something Lisa was writing, so we have to organize us, Lisa and me.
Okay. In the next point, it's about man and nature. That previously was biodiversity, and the first 2 points is from the Italian team. It's about biodiversity, water and rivers, and then land and forests for the Association of Cabeco Santo. Yes? I think
Yeah, I've already seen the first 2 are covered by Adamo. These texts are already on the Google Drive.
yes.
Biodiversity and water and rivers.
Okay. And the land and forest, I think next week will be read from Cabeco Santo. Then we have the environmental backgrounds that are tasked for each association. And that is the point that we discussed about what we should have in common and the differences of each country. Then the point 3.3 about activism is from Karin that are in the drive already. Then successful stories. I think this is the point that is that needs a little more time. We, for example, in Portugal, we identify some associations and some projects, but we would like to discuss more what are from the list of associations that we pointed, what are exactly the examples that we would like to share to illustrate in a better way possible the aspects that we are developing in the 3.2 before. This is the idea, and I don't know about Italy and Austria, but maybe it's the same. I don't know.
I think Stella has already written something for Italy. Karin, have we already something for this part? We've talked
No,
about it.
I just referred in some texts. Can you remember on some areas about Hainburger Au or so? So
Yeah.
very small, but for me it's not so clear that is written in blue. Biodiversity and nature protection adventures. I can't remember anymore that we have written this. What is this?
I don't know.
Okay.
I can't remember this also.
Someone edited it to make a joke.
I don't know. I think that I don't know what yeah. I took this from the I think the Google Drive, and I don't know. Okay. So Karin, about your question, I think everything is pointed for different people. It's just necessary to finish the work that we have for all of these points. Okay.
Yes, it's okay. The only thing which is not clear for me, I just said before, this what was written in blue. So but perhaps somewhere else of somebody else can explain me later on. Maybe Petra, or I don't know what we meant with this blue. I don't
know either, but I think Adamo was writing when we had the last meeting. He was writing into this document, so maybe he knows.
Okay, and we can
And
ask
if he
him.
doesn't, I think we can ignore it.
Yes, I agree. If you have no sense for us,
Okay.
we have to ignore it. Just that. Okay. Another thing is okay. About this point about questions about the chapter, it's okay, or there are another question, or we can go to the other 2 points. I don't know. The other point, it's about the point of situation on the calendar. So just to understand if we are much over the deadline, or if it's possible to manage the situation that we have. But I would like, I don't know if we can leave this point for the last one, and before we can discuss a little about some kind of methodology to because I think this is connected also. We need some kind of methodology or calendar to have these 2 parts that for me are equally important, that is writing and comment. And we need to decide how we will manage these 2 parts to make the best work on the final. So I don't know if there are some ideas, if you have some ideas for this. I think that we can make some kind of table that we can put, for example, our name to write, and in other parts to comment, and like tasks, the task to write and the task to comment, and put dates on that. So we need to know at when is the deadline for each part of these 2 tasks. I don't know. This is some kind of methodology that we can have, but we can choose another one if we have another idea about this.
Yeah, I also think that we definitely need deadlines to finish the chapters and sub-chapters for ourselves and for the whole process. It's still possible to, after the Austrian meeting, according to this timetable we agreed on, is still the opportunity to make corrections, to make adaptations, to do additions. But for this draft, we need the deadlines.
Okay.
And for next week, I agreed with Christian that we have a plenum meeting, as so now the March is over and a lot of work is already done. We need to have a common look at it, and then we should decide together about these deadlines. And about the further procedure, we also will have the opportunity to get to know this Italian student who will help with the illustration, and he might be able to tell us what is needed for him as an illustrator. Maybe he also could be helpful with the layout, or maybe he knows someone who could do this for us. And I think the meeting next week will be, I will schedule for next week, and I hope that enough people will be available, or maybe at the beginning of the second week of April, but not we shall not wait too long anymore, because now it's important to agree on the next steps after this main part of writing is done.
Okay.
What do you?
Maybe I will share this the calendar that we have, just to have a look. Okay. We have the different chapters, and the deadline for each one, that is end of March, for all the chapters. And then we have chapter from chapter 1 to 5, and then chapter 6 and 7. We have more a longer deadline for this. That is not March, but August. And I think that between March and June, that is the meeting in Austria, we have some time to make all the adjustments and all the I call it layers of work to finish to have at least to have a very good version of the handbook in June in the Austrian meeting.
Maybe you can change to the next sheet timeline. It's easier to have an overlook.
Okay. So we have here the creating content, then the illustration, the review work, it's from June to August, and then the layout and design from September to December. And this is the dissemination and the Austrian activities are not the handbook here.
Yeah.
Yes?
No, indirectly it has to do with the handbook, but it's not the specific handbook work. It's interconnected, but it's not an integral part of the handbook work.
Okay.
And
So I think we need to have some kind of extension of this content. I think maybe for I don't know, and I don't know what is the development of other chapters, but maybe we need April to finish the content. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
definitely. Definitely we need April. But in April, it will start to go hand in hand with the illustration part, because we will get some inputs how to do and how to connect text and illustration by our expert. And then it shall be more clear. But for sure we need another month for the writing, for the main writing work. Then we have some chapters, these 2 chapters of conclusions and recommendation next steps. This is part of the review, feedback, work on updated versions. So this will be then for the summer month. Now the focus shall be on the chapter 1 to chapter 5.
okay.
And we have already some material to the description of the activities. but here we need to work in April more, I think, because so far we don't have so many contributions, and I hope that we can decide about this, talk about this next week as well.
Okay.
So we have collected materials, but in my opinion, it's not enough to fill chapter 5. So it must be more in detail and more variations.
Okay. I think here just to see the chapters, the name and what they are. Okay. So this kind of, I don't know if it's the right name, methodology to write and to comment. What are your ideas to develop this kind of in reality is more or less to put deadlines for each of us. I don't know if it makes sense or not, or we try to do our best and have another meeting, for example, middle of April, to understand the point of the development of text and see what is necessary to do more. I don't know. What are your opinion?
Yeah, I think when we are finished with our drafts in chapter 3 and chapter 4, we will be able to get these connections, and from my point of view, in 3 weeks, middle of April, it will be a good.
Okay, so we'll have a meeting in middle of April,
yeah,
and maybe another one in the end of April to finish, to see if there are everything okay in this chapter.
yeah,
And in the meantime, the problem is that we have almost of us 2 tasks. One is to write, and the other one is to comment. And maybe we are divide. Okay, I have to concentrate my time in writing and not in comment the other text. But I think it's very important for everyone to have some kind of feedback about their work. So I think that should be more effort in this task of comments and make comments of the text. It's my opinion. Maybe it's necessary to have more messages in the WhatsApp or by email. Please see my text, something like that, to make some kind of force to incentivize this task. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comment about these? I think we have to pass all the points. I don't know if something that we can discuss more in this meeting. I think we covered everything, but if you have more questions or something to say.
Just to keep in mind and to tell Mathieu about the layout thing. I I will talk to Christian because this is Italian responsibility. We agreed on it in the task distribution. And it depends from the person who will be paid for the layout, what this person needs, how we shall deliver the text so that this person can work on it. And yeah, I hope we can give this information next week. For next week, or maybe at the beginning of the second week of April, we want to have a plenum meeting to get to know the Italian students that will be part of the team. The one of these is has skills in illustration. Then we can talk about this link between the text that's already existing and the illustration part. It will go hand in hand, but we will need this input from this person, and then we are better able to decide about the next steps and to decide about the deadlines. Is that okay for you as well, Mathieu?
Yeah, no problem.
I have a short question. When we have a text with too much content, so my suggestion would be to keep the content, because on the website we could refer to some links or to a deeper content. So for example, if we are talking about legal issues or laws, so we can refer on the website to a link, but this is not something which should be part of the handbook. So when we perhaps talk about the water directive, so we make a link, and or we have too much content to keep this. It is a proposal to keep this in our own documents, and perhaps later on we can use it.
I think it's a good idea to keep the long text that can be used in website or in another thing, and make the adaptation, the right adaptation for the end.
To keep the volume limited, the volume of the text, but still take up the topic on another platform.
Okay, if there are not other questions, I think we can finish the meeting. Petra is not here in this moment.
I've got a last question. What about references concerning illustrations, pictures, maps, whatever we add to the text? Should we also add these references in the list or make a separate list?
I think that should be a separate list.
Okay.
And if possible, we can put photo from and the name of the person immediately in the text, and or illustrations will be different, because if there are someone that are doing the illustrations, all the illustrations will be from that person, unless is other illustration that should be pointed in the illustration. Normally it's like this, but we can decide other thing also, but I think it's that it's not exactly an illustration or photo is not. If it's an illustration from a book, it's different. It's a reference of the book, and we say from the book or from the paper or something, but it's some kind of different illustration. It's necessary. or if it's an illustration for a website, from a website, we can say that it is from the website, and it's okay.
But
It's
also
not,
in the list at the end of the chapter.
it's not necessary, I think.
Okay.
If it's not a reference, if it, we can, it's possible to have a list of, but normally this depends of, for example, if there are lots of illustrations, and it's important to have a list of all the illustrations that we have in the text. But if it's just one or two, it's not necessary. Sometimes we decide these kind of things in the quantity. In reality, I think we have to think about the person will be read will read the handbook, and put things easy for someone that can have all the information about references and different aspects of the text, and that this could be easily. If there are, for example, if all the illustrations is from the same person, it's not necessary to put in each of one what is the author. We can have in the beginning all illustrations from this author. So it's easy to simplify the reading of the handbook. I think it's for me it's important to think about this. And I think Karin, you have something to say? Karin, I saw something from Karin. We are not hearing. Frozen. Wait. There are any other questions? We can finish the meeting after Karin says something. Okay. Can wait 1 minute.
I think, Pedro, you were very effective in time management tonight.
Oh, I try. Okay, maybe Karin are not able to connect again, so maybe you can finish. We can finish the meeting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. So good work for everything that is necessary to do, not only writing but also comment the different parts of the handbook, and I think at least it's my perspective from here that the work is in the good way. It's not complete in the deadline of end of March for these and maybe other chapters, but are in the good line, and I think the handbook will be very interesting in the final. I think so. So have a good night, and we will see. Petra, you said that next week we will have a meeting for everyone. Okay, and so soon we will
Meet
be
again
together, meet again together. Okay.
From my side, I want to thank everyone for taking part in this meeting tonight. Thank you, Mathieu, for coming. I know how challenging it is when you have to divide between projects. Thank you all for the contributions you made, Stella, Victoria, we are happy that you are part of the team, and I am really impressed by the high quality of the contributions I have seen so far. I had the opportunity to have a look on it, and I'm looking forward to reading everything during the weekend until we meet next week. And thanks, Pedro, for your moderation and for giving this complex procedure a structure.
Okay. So we have Karin. Karin, you have something to say?
No, I'm sorry, I was without connection,
Ah,
but
okay.
I think everything is said. Or do you have a question to me? Because I didn't get you.
No, I thought you put the end to speak.
Oh, no,
No.
it was
Okay,
not. So
okay.
thank you very
So-
much and have a nice evening.
Okay. Have a nice night for you, and we will see soon again in the
Okay.
project. Okay.
Ciao,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.